this set here. So sort of red-white duel. Nothing else really triggers here. I think I take Bastion here. We've got token. We have synergies with Priest and what's the other one? Crypt Break. Not Crypt Breaker. Blood for Bones, where we like tokens. Having some drain to finish off the game might be okay. I like Bastion. I think it's a good card. Yeah, exactly. Dreadhorde Invasion's really good here. The other red cards, I mean, I'll play a Scattershell, Smashing, or Shock for sure. What kind of pick is not staying open? Slamming down another black card there is kind of moving that direction. It's like doubling down on the stuff you've already committed to, right? Like more things in line with the stuff we've already picked is not a pick that's particularly staying open. But honestly, on pick 4, you're open regardless your picks, right? Pick 4, you're just trying to figure out what you're doing. And that's such an early pick. Like, you're just always open at fucking pick 4. I mean, with the exception of if you like, maybe like there's a bunch of like synergy cards and you pick 3 or 4 synergy cards in a row right at the start. Cheap removal. This guy is great. And he's great when you're going first, and he's great when you're aggro, because he just fucking destroys a land in this format for 4 mana. Like 2/1 haster kills a land. He probably wheels. Magna Eject might not wheel. But I value this guy a lot. So. Scatter Skull. What is that? Oh. Alright, Egon was a scam. Royal Eruption is removal or reach, which is super nice. And a black-red. Dude, there's also Rebirth. We're not really likely to find a lot of value out of Rebirth here. I can't believe that we're still red after we passed every good red card. It's just crazy, man. It's so crazy. Null Priest is excellent black-red. Good early, good late. Hard to deal with. Does good race math. Alright, so Mangara is probably not getting played here. It's really unlikely we play Traxos in this deck. Depends how many, I guess. What do we actually have? Don't like this card. Has lifelink. Good to know. There's a 7 mana card. Are we just mid-range red-black? Do I have enough sorceries or instants to actually get value out of the tap dude? Not really. Do I want a card in my graveyard? Also not really. There's a universe in which we play this. It's pretty dead. It's a pretty small universe. Alright, black-white, blue-black, blast zone, a braid wield. No one wants to play red in this format, man. Just a little 2/1 dude who dies. A red nuke and a village rights. Yeah, we could. Maybe you're right. Maybe. It was up against the dragon though. Command the Dreadhorde wield. I hate that we passed the entire first pack. We passed all the red cards. Well, that's not true. The first 8 picks, we passed all the red cards and we're in red. Anyways, that seems so bad. B trolls, Trolley versus Niv versus blue-white duels. Okay. Pyromancer and Intervention wield. 4 2-drops. I think I do take Intervention here. Hopefully we get a better 2. Acquisitions Expert and Unburial Rights wield. We're probably not getting white lands for this, although that's a higher power level card. I don't mind another 2-drop. I just have a full pack next pack to find a 2-drop. That's better. 3-drop. There's a Reach Goblin. Shield Breaker's okay in this format. Might wheel. Red black here, not super good. Do I want to? This card is slow as all. Skeleton's actually pretty good in our deck too, with both Priest, Village Rights, and whatever the other one is. Kind of happy with Skeleton. Hope to wheel Shield Breaker, but be okay wheeling Commander or Necro. It's also a white-black duel if we want to try to get the second half of Unburial Rights online. Disfigure's cheap removal in our color. That's the best card in the pack. I think this card is insanely good in this format. This pack sucks for us. We're going to end up like a Grim Initiate. I think I take Disfigure, and I'm pretty salty about it. There's no duels in our colors. Okay. 4 mana Chandra is excellent. Okay. Don't do the too much removal thing again. We have Demon Bolt, no, dude. Okay, man, I like engaging with you. You generally have good commentary, and you're generally fairly engaged with the game that's happening. You're fun to talk with. Just don't backseat me, bro. Okay, just back off the backseating. I get it that you wouldn't have picked Orrery. I got it. All right, 2-drop, land / removal. I think we're a bit slow for Hazoret. I like Inscription. Do we try to wheel Kenra? Like, I want this 2-drop in my deck if I can. I think I'm going to be greedy and take this. It's tap land, though. Fuck. Maybe I take the 2-drop and don't do the tap land thing. So Thundering Rebuke's pretty nice removal. We have Archfiend's Vessel as a lifelinker that doesn't trigger any effects, but also a rebirth effect. We have 2 rebirth kind of effects, but that's not good enough. I don't like Torolf. Like, this card seems insanely slow and clunky to me. I think this is just Thundering Rebuke. Okay. We did pass the removal last pick. It's a pillar, a monument. We don't want to play white creatures. Is it good enough to just generate tokens when we crash? There's a giant there too. Giant's nice. Sometimes this card just wins the game, right? Like, if you roll like Hexproof into Vigilant Flying, you just win. It's that or this card, and I'm not sure this card actually makes it into this deck. We're creature heavy. We don't have white creatures, but it might be just good enough generating white creatures for like Priest or something. I don't know. That card's a little slow. Don't have so many synergies with that. So we've got a fixing land or a fixing artifact. Not really likely to play either. Lightning Axe doesn't go face, it goes creatures only. So it's like a tempo removal spell that costs your resources. Kind of like Hallowed Blade a little bit. I'd rather play the land than the artifact. I don't want to pay 2 mana. Soulscar Mage, Egg, Throne, and Insult to Injury, and Shade. Shade is an excellent 2-drop for this deck. Works with the sack, recurs. It's just really good. Insult is good, but I think Shade is better for this deck. So Goblin Wield, the black-white dual wield, Bestiary Wield. Are we playing Goblin Siege Gang Commander in this deck? I mean, it kind of synergizes. We have one other Goblin, and I don't know if that card makes the cut or not. I'm not sure the Rebirth is going to make the cut, though, either. I think it's too slow on Burial Rites. Like, we're not unbirthing pretty much anything we give a shit about here, so I'm not sure we care about the white mana source. Dude, Bindings of the Old God Wield, meaning that all of my opponents are half-wits. That's the best that can come out of this. There's no way this card should wheel. Do we want a 1-drop? I can't believe I'm going to pass this on. Pick 10. Someone's going to get Binding. Pack 3, pick 11. Oh. I don't even know what to say about that. I know. What are they even picking is exactly the thought process that goes through my head every 2 seconds. We have a fair number. This card is okay. This card is a value card. We're kind of mid-rangey, but we might not be. We might actually be pretty hardcore aggression by the end of this. I think I'm going to take the Lava Runner, take the Vessel. Kind of would have liked both those to make a sense. If I've been drafting my deck along the way, maybe we could have been more clear which of those fill out, but I don't seem to have the time to interact with chat, figure out these cards, figure out the draft, and figure out my perfect curve. So, yeah, I don't understand how we can pass 8 beautiful red cards and then come back and get all of them on the wheel for pack 1. All right. So do we need to have more conversation about why picking a 7-mana artifact that doesn't get played in some archetypes on pick 4 leaves us open, or are we all clear on that? And we got to figure out how we're doing this deck. I got to actually count Historics in a second. I doubt this is a Traxos deck, but it might be. Clear as mud. All right. So from my perspective, and you know, we all know that I'm not the best Magic the Gathering player in the entire world, but I'm kind of getting back into it a little bit, and I'm generally fairly good at strategy games. From my perspective with drafting, it looks like this. The early So here's what you want to do. You want to find the vein that no one's picking. You want to find the colors that other people aren't in, or the archetype that people aren't in, because what's going to happen then is you're going to get past the largest amount of powerful cards that feed into the type of thing you're trying to do with your deck. That's your goal. Early game, you have no idea what that is. You don't get enough signals from your opponents. Sometimes your opponents don't make any sense in their drafts anyways, like seeing Binding of the Old God on pick 11, right? But what does that mean? That means your early picks are potentially giving up the most powerful cards in the pack that you may not play because you're not in the color to play them. That's kind of the thing that you're doing in the early game packs. So very early on, you're like a dog sniffing for a trail, right? You're trying to find the colors or archetypes that you can build with the cards you're being offered and the cards your opponents aren't picking, so you can build the strongest deck you can from that. And what you find is if like you can build consistent decks, but if a lot of other people are drafting those colors and you don't notice, the power level of your decks go way down. And if you find a totally open vein, you'll find that all the cards that you want to fit your deck out are going to flow into you. So one of the benefits of taking colorless cards to begin with is you don't commit to anything, basically. You can play good colorless cards in pretty much any deck to some degree. You know, obviously there's some exceptions like Traxos or Orrery, for example, can't be played in any deck. But you're also not committing to a color. So like if I went, let's say that like I picked 4 sack cards in a row. The sack cards make essentially one archetype. And maybe Ori only makes 2 or 3 decks, but it's still a little bit better than just doubling down on sack cards when I'm not sure I'm into that deck, especially if they're not payoff cards for sack, but they're just like sacking style effects. Does it make sense? Am I getting there? Am I getting that through? I'm not sure. Anyway. So what are we here? So early draft for me, the goal is A, figure out what's open, B, try to pick the most powerful cards, C, start looking at how my deck is going to come together, right? Those are the types of things I'm thinking about when I'm in my early game for that. In the first couple picks, I'm not, unless I see like in this format, there's so many bombs, like in like a regular draft format, maybe you'd be like, okay, I see a Gargarith and pick 1, I'll just force that deck because that card is so powerful. This format, there's so many powerful cards of so many different colors that it's often a little bit more time before I'm committing to anything because I'm trying to figure out which cards are going to build together. So. You think this only goes into 1, but it's a powerful card in that field. And the other cards, that the cost of picking this card compared to the other pack was very low. The only good cards, if I remember correctly, and I might not, I don't remember the actual cards in there, but I remember this being like a pick versus a strong red card. And the problem with a strong red card at that moment in time is we had passed 3 other packs full of strong red cards, essentially indicating to the people behind us that red is wide open. You should take red because you'll get all the good red cards, which would have cut red for ourselves. So if we were going to then like pack 4 grab red, it was going to be really questionable. Now, it turns out our opponents don't read signals whatsoever or don't want to play red and just passed all the red cards back to us. But I think the logic is still fairly sound there. Thanks, Sixock. Welcome back, man. Yeah, I did pick what I thought was the strongest card in that pack that wasn't red, essentially. Like, red should never be open here. We passed like 8 strong red cards in a row. Cutting color is overrated? I don't think so. Depends who you're playing with. The worse your opponents are, the more overrated cutting a color is. Right? Alright, so we look very aggro. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck this deck looks like. I almost want to... I might just build this bottom up again, because we have so many good aggro cards here. Alright, how do I get it to suggest lands? I don't even know how to get it to fucking suggest lands here. Okay. All right, so we want 2 drops here really badly in a deck like this. So this is a decent 1 drop if we have a fair amount of removal. I believe we do. 2 drops, evasive 2 drops, advantage 2 drops, recursion 2 drops, dreadhorde invasion, recurring 2 drops, all fucking sick. 1 mana removal in a deck that wants to attack or 1 mana tricks are really good. A Braid hits everything in this format. So good. Demon Bolt is kind of expensive, but maybe gets there. Thundering Rebuke's pretty good. At 2 mana, Roiling Eruption hits face. I'm playing all these cards so far. Chandra always plays in this deck, aggro or not. If it tops our curve at 4, we're still in really good shape. The Raptor, or Rampaging Ferocidon rather, is just nuts in this format. It's just blanking life gain while simultaneously pinging opponents for playing blockers is just so good. All right, what else do we have for 3 drops in here? Bastion for a little bit of reach. Token generation for sacrifice seems okay. I like Blood for Bones here. I'm not sure we have creatures that recur super well, and this is a 4-mana spell. Is this good enough? We will have the things to sack to it, probably. But I'm not sure what we're buying back right now. Depends what else we get in there, right? I mean, it's nice because it's one to your hand, one to play. So pulling a card into play immediately triggers ETBs again, right? If we run something like Vessel, there's a chance like that just makes us a 5/5 flyer, which is good enough. What other ETBs do we have? Recurring Ferocodon to prevent lifelink is super good. Recurring Kenra will get us another can't block kind of stuff, although much more likely at that point we're just going to recur from Eternalize. Priest coming back in, not very interesting. So there may not be enough targets for that. Let's look at how the rest of the deck builds out. Where are the rest of our 3-drops? So we seem to have not drafted quite as many 3-drops as I would have hoped. So we're going to need to put some in. Crystalline Giants and easy include here. Guardian Item's a little worse in this deck, right? We're not trying to ramp to 4 and we have a million other 2-drops, so that card is a little bit worse. By the way, how many Historics in here right now? 1, 2, 3. Probably not enough for Traxos. All right, I'm happy with Sarkon, even in a aggressive red-black deck. It's just a really good curve topper for things it does. We're short 7 cards if we run this much mana, but if we run this deck as it is right now, we don't want this much mana. Now, we could try to be, with our okay, Bedevil's probably coming in at instant speed removal that hits everything. It's a little bit clunky for its mana base, but it's probably good enough. I don't think a sweeper fits this deck at all, which is kind of annoying. Command the Dreadhorde is a maybe. Like, we are often going to be in a position where we have more life than the opponent and we're trying to figure out card advantage late. A card is okay. I really like Rune Blaster, especially if you're going first. This is often a card that makes it's a, what is it called? An oppressive card, right? Where if you're going first, you can often just fucking destroy their mana base with this while you're adding more pressure. So I'm pretty pleased about that. I think that's good enough to play. It's really a 4-drop. Devil's Play going face with flashback is a little bit exciting. No Dreadhorde is bad here. You can't use that language. You can say, I think as an aggro deck, that Command the Dreadhorde is often going to be a dead card in your hand. You could say that to me, but you can't just say, after I've just given a justification for why I think Command the Dreadhorde works well with a deck like this, you can't then just say, no. It doesn't work that way. You either have to give the give and take back and forth of a conversation, or you have to at least pretend to react to me before you express a statement of opinion, right? It just doesn't work that way, man. All right. I suspect here Village Rites is going to be fairly good versus spot removal. It's very easy to hold this up. It regenerates card advantage for us. I think that's fine. I like Resembling Skeleton here. It's a little bit slow and it's not an aggressive creature. There's 3 other recurring aggressive black creatures in this deck. The 2/1 that recurs when you're at 1 mana or 1 card size, the Shade that recurs, and then Gutter Bones all recur, which are really nice here. And they're all better in Skeleton for this particular deck, but this is still okay. And if we add sack outlets, things like Bastion. Well, Bastion's not an outlet, but it triggers off Skeleton. But we get value out of Priest, value out of Bastion, and value out of Village Rites with Skeleton. We could go further down that route and think about Blood for Bones. We could add Crypt Breaker here, which is reasonable too. Crypt Breaker can do things like discard Skeleton, only if it's in your hand initially. But for like, this is a flood protection / put things in your graveyard / get value out of some cards, right? The time you feel bad with Skeleton is if you're trying to beat them down and you need to place a creature that has some power and instead you put a 1/1 on the board. That's when that feels bad. So these cards are all kind of like consideration. Those two are almost a little package here, the Resembling Skeleton and the Village Rites. We don't have shit for top end. We stop casting spells at like 3 and 4 right now. So a part of me wants to put in something like a Surveyor. Surveyor also has sack synergies. It's a body we don't care about. It's super anti-aggro, which is the problem. So it's like it's card advantage and a body. If we can take advantage of bodies, this card is a little bit better. It might also be kind of in that vein. And I think if we're starting to run things like that, we might consider Blood for Bones there. Grim Initiate, a better skeleton? Not wrong, honestly. It's a pretty unexciting card compared to a skeleton, but it is cheaper. And if we're only getting 1 or 2 sacks out of skeleton, you're right. That's an equivalently powerful card. All right, other cards to think about, things like Demon Bolt. Demon Bolt's a little slow for us, but it has a lot of reach at 4. And we can do things like fill dead spots in our curve with it, although 2 is not a very good spot in our curve for a removal, right? We have a lot of stuff on 2 already. Siege Gang is a beast. Siege Gang is also very slow in this format. So it is reach, and it can be a curve topper, like with Sarkon. I'm trying to figure out what our curve topper is going to be. A part of me wants to play Drakaseth. We're never going to get 7 mana, and it's a little cutesy with only 1 way to discard to do something like Crypt Breaker. But we could do something else. We could do, by the way, we should count, let's just double check that we still can't run. With the cards that we know that's in, let's make sure we can't run Traxos 3. Yeah, we're nowhere near. We have 4. There's no way we can run Traxos in this deck. Okay. Guardian Idol instead of Surveyor. Guardian Idol's pretty bad in this deck. Actually, I don't know if it's bad in this deck, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of worlds in which we are going to Guardian Idol into 4-drop double 2-drops, right? Or 4 mana double 2-drops. We don't have a lot of 3s, so part of me is kind of like, well, that is helpful. It is a little bit of an attacker. You can't really use this. This isn't an aggro card, right? Because it takes us too much mana investment to get something out of it. We invest 2 mana the first time we cast it, and then in future turns, if we want to attack with it, it's another 2 mana, 2 mana, and having this card involved in the attack. So it's definitely not an attacking card. But there is some question about whether or not we just want that ramp anyways. So a part of me looks at the Siege Gang commander as like a curve topper. We could use 1 more curve topper. We have almost no 4s, almost no 3s, and a couple 5s. You know, there's some argument with Guardian Idol with that as well, which is if we have so few 3s and we don't have a lot, and not many 4s or 5s, then more 2s at the cost of mana is actually okay. We're likely to get to 2 mana almost every game. Playing out Idol to like ramp to 4 and run lower land count is actually okay in a deck like that. How's Devils play? You know where we'd play this card would be the decks running the Pharaohs, right? Because then you have a 4 mana 4/4 hasted flyer that fucking obliterates their board. That's kind of this package as well, kind of. We don't have enough ways to really get value out of this 1/1 lifelinker. If we had like 2 more recursion effects, I mean, we do have, actually, that's not quite true. We have Null Priest. Can you guys not worry about lands until we've done the deck? The lands are always after the deck because the lands are contingent on what you put in your deck. So let's not worry about that quite yet. Let's get there first. This going face is interesting. I think it's better than that because it goes face. This saves a creature is often what happens with this, and it's instant speed, so it's often saving one of our attackers. I feel like we want just a little bit of reach on our top end. It could be Command the Dreadhorde, it could be putting in a Siege Gang Commander, it could be putting in a Devil's Play. Could be any of these things. It's just not a lot of damage face, right? Like 3 mana cost on that is really painful. I mean, we could tempo play Lightning Axe too, honestly. If we're looking at like flood protection, Devil's Axe is pretty good. Flood protection. Doesn't go face ever, which is kind of fucking annoying. Lightning Axe. But it is dirt cheap removal if we've got a bunch of lands in hand that we don't need. All right, so we need, okay, so looking at this, I don't think there's any other, I mean, maybe the Grim Initiate, but it's really questionable. I don't think there's any cards in here I want to play. I don't want to play Pillar Flame. It does face, and it's a 1 mana removal, which is great, but it's a sorcery speed. It doesn't have a lot of reach. So I'm looking at something like this with 7 cards out. And the questionables here are 5, 9, 12. So we need 7 of 12 out. So basically 5 of these go into the deck. Give or take with the land count. So maybe like up to 7 of these. Up to 7 of these could go into the deck. I think something like Devil's Play is better than Banefire in a deck like this, but I'm not sure it's better than just other cheap removal, right? I mean, we compare Devil's Play to like Siege Gang Commander. We don't have wide effects or pump effects. Siege Gang's pretty fucking mana intensive too. Requires a lot of red land. What about Guardian Idol? Do we care about Guardian Idol? I like that we can cut lands and add Guardian Idol as like a semi-ramp thing. We're never going to cast this on 2 though, so I don't know, man. We're almost always going to want pressure instead of that. So 7 to 8 cards out. I think I'd rather Devil's Play than Siege Gang Commander. We have no other Goblin synergies except that one little Rune Blaster there. So it's not like we're going to have tons of things we can throw at them, and we're not planning on having tons of mana either. I don't think we want Vessel here. We have Null Priest and Blood for Bones to get it back, but that's it. And a 1/1 lifelinker is really unexciting in this deck with no other synergies. So I don't really want that. I don't really want this. I think I prefer Resembling Skeleton to Grim Initiate. The Initiate's faster, but Skeleton's a little bit of a mana sink. Helps interact with the Priest kind of combo that we maybe wish to do. Has infinite recursion off Remembrance, so we can attack them in the face, and if it dies, we just recur it. And if they don't block it because they don't want to kill it, it's doing 1 every turn, right? So I don't hate the Skeleton here. It's another 2-drop too, although kind of a weak one. I don't really want to play Grim Initiate. I don't really want to play Guardian Idol. I don't really want to play Lightning Axe. I think I'd rather go down in total card count, total play non-land, total. Wow, I'd rather go up in total cards and down in lands than play like the Axe right now. Although it's dirt cheap, and I really like dirt cheap removal in aggro decks because you're often on like I have a 2-drop. I have 3 mana. It's turn 3. I went first. I've got a 2-drop. They have a blocker out. I want to remove their blocker. I need a 1 mana play that removes their blocker. Disfigure. A lot of combat tricks. We have a bunch of 2 mana plays that remove their stuff, which is kind of painful. So maybe love it. Maybe Lightning Axe is still good enough there. Maybe. All right, what are we getting back with Blood for Bones? The problem is we don't have any good creatures here. And the good creatures we do have are good early and not good late, or already auto-recur. So like the only card I'm ever getting back with Blood for Bones is like Priest. And I think when I look at it that way, I think that card is just dead in our deck. I have 6 Sock, yeah. Pretty happy to play a Village Rites, even without a lot of recursion. It's just value. Like there's sooner or later they're going to remove one of our creatures, and it's very easy to leave 1 mana up. And you can do this when you're attacking into good blockers who are going to eat your guy anyways. I just think it's a lot of value. Gives us a little bit more time to do things, a little bit more resources to finish the game off. I think we're having to run the Devil's Play in this deck too. So we need probably like 1 to 2 more out. We're never playing 17 lands in this deck, but this is maybe a 16 land, maybe a 15 land. I'm not really sure how to tell. We don't have a lot of double red or double black, but we want to hold up tricks. There's 1 double black there, 1 double red on 4, 1 double red on 5. Surveyor's card advantage, chat. It's a body for the sacking stuff. It's fixing lands for card advantage. It's okay. It's a 3-drop. We're really light on 3-drops. We don't have to play it early, but we could still have value out of that. It's certainly non-aggro. We'd prefer aggro 3-drops. We didn't get aggro 3-drops here. Sure, like Bedevil can be, you can think of it as a 5-drop. It's very rare we play that on 3, sure. Is Crypt Breaker a card here? It is flood protection, but it's only 2/2s and it's expensive 2/2s, and the body itself is useless. So 1 mana 1/1 doesn't do us any good. I mean, it beats in for a little bit early, I guess. Isn't much payoff for the 1/2. There's some. It's basically Bastion plus Priest plus Village Rites. It's a little bit. Crypt Breaker works with Initiate? What's that? What does Crypt Breaker do with Initiate? Oh, you want to tap 3 zombies. I forget there's more text on this card. Do I have other zombies? I guess it's worth having a look. I mean, we got a zombie there. I've seen an opponent activate that effect once. I've never activated that effect. I don't think I'm gonna have. I mean, this is gonna be flood protection is what it's gonna be, but I don't have any wide stuff. I think I'm playing Surveyor. I think I'm playing this with 16 lands and putting Surveyor in. I could be talked into keeping the Crypt Breaker, going down to 15 lands, and playing all of these too. Maybe Demon Bolt comes out. All right, so what do we have for lands here? So that's 16 lands. Do we play Terramorphic Expanse? I don't know yet. The criticism earlier in chat about it being a tap land is actually absolutely correct. We don't want tap lands in this deck. We have enough 1-drops. We may not want tap lands even on 1. I think I can forget about 5-drops. We're not playing very many 5-drops. We're playing 1 5-drop. So we can forget about the 5-drops. All right, we'll forget about Sarkon until that one time we flood and win, you know? 5 Legacy is not enough for Trexus. I want like 13 or 10 or something, right? Nowhere near 5. So I guess we play a Mountain. So that's 15 lands, 8/8, 15 lands. Curve stops at 5. Kinda. Got one other way to tutor up lands. I mean, there is some argument for just cutting Surveyor and adding another land, playing 16 lands in a Surveyor. We're gonna flood a little bit some of the time. We have a little bit of protection. Null Priest, Skeleton. We get some value out of drawing lands anyways. I really wish I had something I could crew for crewing Magda. I don't disagree that Surveyor's not where we want to be in this deck, but we need a 3-draw. We need something here. Maybe I could cut Surveyor and play the Guardian Idol, but I don't want to be in a position where I'm on 2 lands and I'm like, I play Guardian Idol on turn 2, right? Like, I'd rather just spam 2-drops there. I don't want to play Siege Gang here. If I'm playing Devil's Play, I don't want to play Siege Gang. All right. All right. I think this is what we're playing. Let me know what you guys think. Will we get 5 wins with this deck? Little aggro red deck here. Aggro red black. Okay. Think you can get 5? No, vote it up. I really, really like 1-mana tricks in aggressive low curve decks. Really like them. So the axe is kind of there for that for me. All right, missing red mana. Opponent goes first. We have a 1-drop and a 2-drop that's pretty good into another 2-drop. We'll keep this. We're a little salty about no red mana, but okay. Going second sucks. All right, chat. Let's count the number of times we go second with our aggro deck, starting now. We're at 100% going second right now. I feel like if there was a way to be more than 100% going second right now, we'd be there too. I did put a vote up. You just missed it. You had a minute. Opponent mulligans once. Nice. A vote for going second. Alright. Third black land. Not really where we wanted to be. Flooding in our 15 land deck, by the way. Mana screwed and flooding at the same time. Awesome. Are there 2 mana flash creatures? Never didn't have it. Spectral Sailor is a 1 mana flash creature. That one's okay. Yeah, there's 2 mana counter spells for sure. The best, I mean, he could be running Negate. But it's much more likely he's running Essence Capture, right? Or Essence Scatter, rather. What the fuck is that card? Oh, the Mimic. 2 zombies already. Well, it's the 2 zombies in our deck. We don't have a 3rd zombie. So yes, we're at 100% zombie capacity right now of what our deck can do. This doesn't generate multiple creatures. I guess we could make a zombie, is what you're saying. I see. We could dump a swamp, make a zombie, draw some cards. Oh, it'd be so good. Did we give up 1 damage for it? I think we do. Oh, we can't draw a card with that because it would tap all of our attackers. It might still be the best play anyways, though, because we get a fucking... We trade a land to make it a 2/2. I can't this turn? Of course I can. I can't draw the card. I can do it otherwise. This card does not have haste right now, right? So I'm just not attacking. See if he wants to counter it. Yeah, I'll end step it for sure. Wonder if I should have just put a creature in the graveyard for Null Priest. It feels a little greedy to create a 3rd zombie. It's okay, I guess. It's going to give me a lot of power on the board next turn. 2/3 lifelinker. Okay. I kill your 2/3 lifelinker. Do I want? Okay. So here's a question. Kills artifacts, goes face, does 4 damage. We want this dead 100%, and we want to smash him for 1 million damage. I'm worried about a sweeper, but it's on 5. I don't need Ghost Face here. You're so wrong. It's between a Braid and Thundering Rebuke for me. I guess if he like slams Magra over there, I want the 4 damage. So I guess it is a Braid. Huh. I wonder if I kill my own creature here. It's a powerful effect on the Dreadhorde guy, huh? So he missed mana, so he's in bad shape here. I think I just smack him for fucking 4 and cast out the giant. I gotta do this pre-combat because I want the token. Okay. There's the scatter that we didn't get hit with on turn 2. Okay. Bounce my token. Not that token, this token. Okay, good answers from the opponent. He's still on 3 land though. So we're on 5 here. I think I'm playing Null Priest as an attacker. He doesn't have 4 mana. We're going to get him for 2. If I Thundering Rebuke this, we get in for more than 2. This is 7 to kick. It's pretty far away from getting kicked, but 3 damage to his face is super relevant here. So I think this is Thundering Rebuke to the creature. Get him for 3, cast out the Null Priest. Pretty close to killing him this turn. I mean, he hasn't had any lands, but he's had good answers to our stuff, right? For only having 3 lands, reasonable answers. I don't think he can 3 mana sweeper us on blue-white. I don't think he can 4 mana sweeper us either. I think it's 5. Wait, doesn't he dead him? I guess he blocks 2. Okay. I mean, I can play both these, so I might as well. Let's draw my haster. All right. Nicely done. My opponent was land screwed. I appreciate the compliment, but you can't give me compliments when my opponent doesn't have resources to play with. I mean, he had good answers for what he had, but he's still missing probably half of his hand. And he mulled to 6, remember? So he mulliganed to 6 and never got his 4th land. All right, going second again at 150% going second for this playthrough. That's the game. No, unfortunately, I mean, that is a lot of the games, but that's not ideally the game, no. So we're missing black, black, red for this. This is actually a hard one to play when we're playing so few lands. This card I really want 4 with. Another fucking... This is why no one is drafting red, because they're playing this shit. This is such an awkward 2 here. I could Devils play the flipped, whatever the fuck the guy's name is. I really don't want to run out Rune Blaster as a 3-drop. I want that to be 4. I wonder if I just eat my own priest here.
Today I craft my victory.
Alright, now I kill that, because that card will go off. I feel like there's no chance he ever blocks here if I'm him, but...
You will not dissuade me from battle. I must accept defeat for now.
I'm definitely going to try to save Rune Blaster if I can. I want to hit that fucking Triome. Bit awkward if he's holding up 2 mana counterspell again. Of course he is. All of my opponents with 2 mana counterspells is fucking infuriating. Alright. And their pile decks are all playing Essence Capture. Makes sense if you're playing a pile, you need some early interaction, but it's still infuriating that they all have it. Never didn't have it, right? Okay, I now need a creature resolved. It really sucks that this got countered, because having another creature on this board would be so good. I just remove that priest for the sack, eat the Golos, draw some cards, be in good shape. But no. 150% for going second. Opponents having 2 mana counter spells? Correct. Correct. All right. Blue, green, white, red, black. I'm missing black right now. If he has a black source, though. Okay. This is a good card. Let's just kill Golos. We can't hold up. Can't hold up Village Rites, unfortunately, but it's still way good enough. I actually think I Devil's play this too. It seems really stupid, but I think it makes his next creature something I can maybe kill with my priest. It's pretty unexciting, but there we are. Chat says he doesn't play Field of the Dead. Of course he's got Golos on 5 with Field of the Dead already in his hand. He's at 13. I think he's out of our reach range right now. But we'll see. Dude, his lands generating him 2/2s is not cool. So I can't kick him from the graveyard, right? Because that's a thing that happens to the cost of the card when I cast it. Okay. Correct. But I mean, it's not like I get the kicker sometimes, right? Can't imagine he doesn't block with the zombie, but maybe he doesn't block with the zombie. All right, so Devil's Play is currently reached 3. Had another creature. Okay, great. Dude, come on, man. Converts search because he had 2 more instant spells on top of this. Jeez, this is why everyone is forcing 5-color jank, by the way. It's so good right now. Think how different this game would have been if we blew up his Triome. Like if that had resolved as opposed to that 2-mana counter. I don't know how we get back through this. Problem isn't Niv. The problem is the Azcanta that's flipped. What do we want him to not block with? The 1/1, I guess. Field of the Dead is broken. Like, I probably can't beat it because he generates a blocker every single turn. Dude, he's got another counter that hits 2 mana guys only over here. Hilarious. Guy's fucking hand is gas versus us. Okay. Is there anything we can draw that gets us there right now? Feels like no. He's at 13 too. This game would have been insanely different going first, right? Doesn't get to have the 2 mana up to counter the spell that removes his land. Doesn't get to Goldos on 5. Doesn't get to play the... Just... Go. Alright, we can be done with this one. I think. So what's the CMC on Eternalize? It's not a cast, right? No, it's a create. So you can draw off this... I guess an instant makes it so he can't do this is actually a mistake. Yeah. Alright, I think we can concede here though. I don't think I can beat this now. Okay. Yes, it turns out generating 5 free 2/2s by playing lands is too much for our aggro deck to get past. So, feels too bad. I'm gonna draft a little bit. I mean, maybe we should be playing that Trolls thing. I don't think we can fit it in this deck. But I feel like I almost have to draft land destruction at this point. Like, if we're gonna play red, we want like 4 of these rubble dudes. Just like going off, destroying lands. I used to love land destruction back in the day. Till they banned it for being super unfun. I mean, to be fair, I always had fun when I was land destroying my opponent's stuff. Chat, 100% going second. 3 of 3. Feels good. One drop into 2 drop. Can't block the 2/1. It's first striking. I guess I hold off the Crypt Breaker, but he's not going to trade it. Okay. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. That draws him cards. Okay. Color me frustrated again. Can't play either of these cards. They cost 4 right now. I could Devil's Play this for 1. Is that our Surveyor, which doesn't do anything, right? I actually prefer to get in here. Can remove the stupid Mentor next turn on 4. It's really clunky with our hand again. History. Oh, he gets to draw a card off that. Dude, opponent. Opponent. This is fucking bullshit and you know it. I guess I don't block here because I gotta have this. Yes. Yes, it is fucking insane, chat. Okay, it's got removal on top of this curve, on top of going first, top of drawing cards off of this, and I'm gonna what, 1-for-1 remove the knights. It's exciting. I have to start value playing to chump knights. I mean, it's just a 4-3. I can just chump it with the skeleton. Or chump it with the skittering surveyor. Might need to bedevil the crypt breaker to actually win this game too. Could just take 4. It does come into play tap, so I'm losing a turn off that. I don't want to take the 4 off the history. Okay. No, opponent's got a really solid curve going on over there. And the fact that the 2-drop fucked up all my counterplays was really, really frustrating too. Yeah. And the fact his 1-drop is now generating in value here, also frustrating. Exile effect removal for my skeleton. Good draw, I guess. I'm still at 6 though. You can kill Sarkon by just trading off the Knight token. Still keeps the Skyclave up. Skyclave's not even good for me to kill it now because I don't get my skeleton back. And it exiles it. I just get a 2-2. I think it's CMC, right? 2-2's okay, I guess. It's pretty rough, Kaufman, huh? I know. So much of Magic is so tilting. To be fair, opponent cards are all solid, man. Like, it's not like I'm seeing bad cards in here. It's so much worse when you play players who are drafted like a heap of like shitty 1-1s and 2-2s, and they're doing this shit with like no card selection, no card draw, and no like payoffs, and you're just like, oh, I'm being beat to death with 2-2s again. Oh. What? Does he want it to be a 4-4? I'm always plussing here. That never doesn't happen. There is a world in which I don't attack with this dragon. If he's just trying to kill it because it's a converted creature, it's equal. I mean, it's slightly more valuable than my 4-4, but not enough not to plus it, right? Do I crack him with? I mean, I attack. So the card that immediately jumps to mind with the play he just made is the 1 white, 1 other kill target tapped creature. So I'm always leaving this dragon back for blocking, so I'm at 4. I think I just passed turn here. He didn't kill Sarkon. If I don't tap it, he can't fucking kill it with that, if it is that card. Well, I wasn't thinking Seal Away. There's actually 2 in the format. There's Seal Away and the other one. The one that's just Destroy. I probably have to kill that Crypt Breaker, I guess. Maybe I should have killed it last turn. If I get a second dragon on the board and have Sarkon revealed, then he's not running out of gas. It's a drain creature, and this thing converts lands into 2/2s. He's definitely not running out of gas. So I take 1 and 3. Fuck, I'm so low. I have to deal with too many things simultaneously, right? I have to deal with the artist. See, that's a mistake, though. He just kills his 1/1. I guess it drains me. I wonder if that was intentional or not, or if he forgot. So that does 1. I'm at 5. I'm always going to block these.
Listen to them roar.
I don't think he remembered that effect. I take 3 more. Going to 1 at this point. Wait, why is there 5 triggers? It's my creatures too? Oh, fuck off. Never mind. There's no way I could win that then. I thought it was just his creatures. So what? I had to wait for that to come into play and then remove it so I couldn't hit the drains? Okay. There's no way I'm beating that. Ever. If it's all the creatures there. With that curve going second. I mean, I didn't play a game of Magic there. I made some decisions, but they weren't relevant to the outcome of this. Hey, we're going first for the first time. We're missing black mana on 2 of our cards. We have a 2-drop in this. We hope we hit Swamp, I guess. Pretty rough not to see this on turn 1. Do I mull this because both these cards are dead and they don't do anything if I get them later? I don't have black right now. Bedevil the Artist was better. It's pretty bad though if I don't get another 2/2. I'm at 6 health. He plays the Artist. I don't remove a blocker. Or I don't remove an attacker and I don't get my 2/2 shade back from his apparition, right? So what does that leave me? I've got a 1/2 on the board, a 4/4 on the board, and that's it. Versus I'm at 5 health and he's got 4 attackers. He's got the 1/1, 2/2 zombie, a 2/2 knight, and a 2/2 apparition, right? So I can block 2 of those. I'm at 5. I take best case scenario there. I guess I don't have to block the 1/1. I mean, maybe I'm not dead there. I don't think it's better though. So he never blocks this, right? Oh, okay. I mean, that's ideal for me. Even if he blocks, don't you bring it back with the land? Oh, you mean this one? Yeah, 100%. I wasn't worried about it. I was looking at whether or not I just Thundering Rebuke that. I guess it doesn't matter there. I can't block with the shades. It doesn't matter. Shade can't block. I don't know that turn 4 Chandra is very good here. It doesn't remove a creature, so I lose some of the value on it if he has the removal for the Chandra. But it's turn 4 Chandra, turn 5 Sarkon, so maybe. Fuck that. Wait! It's non-basic. I think I still make that play. I actually thought I misclicked, so I reacted to misclicking because I thought I was just I thought I just didn't kick it and I didn't miss the land drop. I don't care about the 1 mana. That doesn't make any difference. I'm a little frustrated that we didn't get his other land, but okay. I'm still probably playing that here rather than waiting, I think. Yeah, I thought it was just land. It's okay. I got really, really salty for a second there. Can't replay it this turn. It's tempting otherwise. I get so frustrated there, chat. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I misclicked that. Because this deck is 1 loss, one game away from losing, right? After that bullshit we just dealt with.
Magnificent.
Yeah, I could have played Chandra in plus if I had realized that. Yep, there was a better play available there for sure.
You have returned.
Really enjoying the MTG streams.
Thanks, Casual Observer.
Demands power.
You're going down.
No, here I want Chandra with a plus. A little bit annoying that he gets to do that with the 1 mana fatal push. Feels kind of bad. CMC 4. Couldn't he have... Does this Planewalkers? Creatures. Okay. The play, if I... Rather than kicking a thing that didn't do anything, I mean, that's nice. I guess I should do this thing first. I kind of forgot it did both my Planeswalkers. Kind of was just thinking I was going to get Sark on here and I could make the decision about whether or not I wanted mana.
Gonna hurt.
Decline. Does he gain life from this as well? Choose one and you gain X life. That sucks. If he hadn't gained life there, even if he removes one, I just kill him, right? That's why we don't play the giant pre-combat. So mana gets us Kenra. Alright, if he has an answer for this guy, we still lose, which is crazy. Oh, he exiles my... Oh, he doesn't know about this card. Okay, never mind. I got a little salty for a second. Dude, it's pausing. Pausing is terrifying. It's got a midnight clock on the board, though, so I guess the pauses can happen. So I'm pretty sure we just play this as 1, because then we can play it back for 1 before his exile effect, right? So we do this with 1 for 1 damage. If he has a counter, we run it back and kill him again. Okay. We play around cancel by playing like that. He can cancel it if he wants to. Okay. Well, we fucked up the turn with the Goblin because I didn't realize it was non-basic. I thought it was just any land. Which, to be fair, in this format is basically any land because 99% of our opponents are playing all fucking dual lands. And we had a better turn that turn because we could have, exactly. If we are going to play as a 3-mana 2/1 haster, we could have played Chandra out, then plus the Chandra for mana, then had 3 mana to play the haster out. And that we could have done that on 4. So we could have had Chandra on board earlier. But isn't there a counter that exiles? I don't know if there's one in this format. But we play around getting countered and losing there. I don't think we survive another turn of milling with Ashiok on the board, and we don't get our flashback with Ashiok on the board anyways, right? So, well, we play around Syncopate. He's got 3 mana open, and we had 4 mana open, so he can't Syncopate us there. Are there counters that exile in this format? What counter that format? There's a shit ton of them. There's Rewind. There's the 6 mana one. There's Neutralized. There's Force Spike. There's Censor. I mean, there's a million of them. There's a million counters in this format. All right, going second. Too bad. We have a really good hand for going first. Still a good hand, I guess. Sinister Sabotage is not in this format. I've never, or actually, I don't know if it isn't on this format, but I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one offered in draft, and I haven't been Sinister Sabotaged. Crazy this deck is 2/2. Well, we had opponent curve out, and we had Mr. What was it? Mr. Control deck that just went off, right? Opponent mulling. We're just gonna bully opponents who don't have any resources. We'll see. If I get lucky, he plays a 2-drop. That isn't the stupid guy who makes all my spells cost more expensive. Yeah, Land of the Dead, dude. Oh, come on, man. There's only one in the format that I can't deal with. Feels bad. I can disfigure it, but I can't disfigure it on his turn because it has text of the card. Imagine telling me to disfigure it after I specifically said the card that I couldn't deal with was this one card. Imagine telling me to disfigure it. Feels bad. Feels bad. I hate the coin trip to go first. That's exciting. Is that instant or sorcery? Instant. So awkward, this card. This is the second time we've had this played against us in this format. It's really awkward for our 2-mana removal here. I can attack. If he blocks, I can disfigure it. He might just not block. I mean, I get the token, the mana either way. I can't let this get bigger, and I have to remove them both. So he probably doesn't want to block, quite honestly. Says me believing in my opponent having logic with this board that he might want to continue pumping his creatures. Sure. Okay. I can 2-mana disfigure, or it's 2-mana disfigure, then play out the null priest, I guess. Well, chat, the problem is I have to tap the creature to get the token that gives me the mana to remove them both, and I have to remove them in the order of this one first, and my only instant spell that can remove in that order, well, maybe I could have played land and done this. No, these are sorceries, right? No, I did that logic already. The disfigure is the only instant. I can't use instants after I've generated the treasury token, and I have to generate the treasury token to cast them both. So there's not a solution if he blocks to removing them both. Right? It'd be like disfigure here, take the damage, but I'm okay trading that already. I don't need the accelerant from here. I think that makes sense. Anyways, we only have 1 red mana here. So it's like Kenra, no attacks. It kind of sucks. So I don't have double. I do a double black. Okay. Okay. I'm surprised he blocked there, honestly. I think most of the time I don't block there. Like, fucking, what do I care if I take 2 damage? You just don't want I guess he just doesn't want me generating the tokens, and he values +1/+1 as less. Seems crazy. Especially with that in your hand, doesn't that, like, double down on wanting to have tokens out? Here I'm quite salty that both of these are sorceries, because he generates a creature with haste, and just really clunky, this thing adding +1 mana spell cost to all of our stuff. Just so clunky for us. That's gotta be wrong. Alright, we've got 5 mana here. It works out super well. Can sorcery move the 3/2? Nope, that cost me 3 mana to sorcery move the 3/2. I have 4 mana counting the token on that turn. Part of me wants to leave the Earthshaker behind, but I guess he eats it with a token anyways, right? So he can't block that. He can't activate this right now. He gets 2 1/1s back, which are actually better than this. If I hit him for 4 and just sack this to draw cards, where are we at? I think we're better than letting him get the Kokens out. Yeah, feels good. No life gain for you. Go. Yeah, we could have drawn our reach spell and killed him as well. It's a little bit awkward because it's my only black source, so there were some scenarios where we lose from that, or rather can't play any of our cards. I just don't think I want him having 2 1/1 blockers here for next round. Like, it's going to be a really wide board with Heliod giving him lifelink. Sack before damage? I did sack before damage deliberately, so that he didn't get to fucking kill the creature, or didn't get to let his creature die. I wonder if he knows lifelink doesn't work here. No blocks. I don't think he read Ferocidon. Okay. Alright. Alright. Chat's still talking about that turn. Let's see what chat thinks to have here. 3 mana, kill Thalia, go to attacks, generate token, use Disfigure for 1 less mana. That's true. I did not think about the fact that if I did it opposite order, would that have been better? Because that turn was complicated. So let's think. So I had 3 mana on the board. And we generate... Yeah, we actually probably could have. Go to attacks, Disfigure before blocks. Keep my guy alive. Nope, you're right. I missed that line, randoms. You're right. There was a better play than the play we chose on that turn. Okay. I think. Yeah. Okay. Should block so all of his tokens make him take damage. Maybe, but his tokens save him 1 life each there, right? New to Arena, made a Boros cycling deck. Tips. If you're new to Arena, you should net deck. And if you're playing Constructed, you definitely should net deck. Because as a new player, you're going to have super limited card options. And you might have fun brewing, but you're going to need a lot of resources to be brewing. So you probably want to invest those resources into cards that will actually let you win games, which are going to be net decks. Black, black. Opponent goes first. This is our 6th match of this deck. We've gone first once. Got a 1-drop. Have another 1-drop. We could add Bedevil to make this a 2/2 early. We can recur Shade too. I don't know if this gets here or not. Deck or 2 to suggest for net deck. I would Google, man. I don't even play Constructed at all. It's tempting to put Bedevil in to get the for the Lava Runner, but it's too cute, right? This is a 0 resource cost. This first time I draw Swamp, I recur it back, we're good. It's just 1 extra damage here, and haste is probably not worth the Bedevil later. I gotta draw land here, black land to win. Kind of stupid that we're like 8/8 for lands and we're in 3 mountains here. Oh yeah, we're not 100% going second. We're at N-1. We're going second here. Good card, fixes our colors. actually really tempting not to play the mountain here. But I guess there's some world in which I go like land into Sarkon. Or just land into Sarkon, honestly. Can you show me your cube deck? I don't really do deck doctors on this channel yet, but I was considering if I play Magic regularly, we'll set up some Magic related rewards. Man, it turns out being mana screwed versus an opponent red deck who went first is really bad. Who would have guessed? Wouldn't it be nice to play the game of Magic? Oh, I see. It's holy fuck! We did it, chat. We did it. Now we can trade life with this thing. Hold on a minute. Let's take a look. We can't even block with this. Is this good enough? Do I have to put the priest down? Just to block the 1/3? If we get Sarkon resolved, it kills this for us. So any land activates Sarkon. Although he can kick. He's going to be mana shy next turn. No, he won't. He'll be at 4 at 5. So this will have 2 health. So we can just kill it with flashback. Fuck. Hey, wouldn't it be nice to have my resources to play this game? I would like that. That would be fun. I would also like to have an equal chance of going first. That seems important as well. I don't think I can not block here. I don't have an answer to the 4/3. I don't think I could take 3. I'm going to be bleeding out based on the fucking giant anyways. Okay. This is bullshit. 7 matches. How many? Okay, we lost 2. What are we up to? 3 wins right now? So this is either our 5th or our 6th match. 2nd every time, no problem. I think this is probably not a good time at the moment to be offering advice to me, chat. When it's too late to matter, here we go. So I can cast Sarkon and die on board. I can Bedevil and die on board. Actually, I'm at 1 with Sarkon, aren't I? From the Bastion.
Feel the heat of my blood. Come to me.
Oh, is it same turn? No, you're right. I take the damage simultaneously. I am dead on board. It doesn't matter. He's got a Bane Fire as well. We played 6 games. We went second 5 times. Got mana screwed 2 of those games, I believe. Jesus, Magic's being so cruel to us today. Like, I'm beginning to have a serious amount of anger about this. Strong opponent deck. Nice curve on your red deck with no fixing, right? Like, again. Okay. Days like this are so tilty. They're so tilty. I guess the one redeeming feature is these are phantom drafts. So they're really cheap to buy into. Because you don't get to keep the cards. But I'm tilted as fuck right now. It would be nice if the game had a little less luck on each individual match. You know, putting that out there. I think our deck was fine. We had really nice curve. Okay, like Bedevil was certainly pretty bad in that deck with just the mana cost of that. But I liked our deck, honestly. Yeah, definitely tilt. All right. Does pack one, pick one look trash to anybody else? Is it just ooze? So Gear Hulk's strong if you have stuff in your graveyard. It's just slow and clunky. History is all right. Languish is a sweeper. Chandra and Siege Gang Commander aren't very good. Rimrock or Knight is not very good. Lightning Axe is okay.
Quitters never win.
Thank you, It's Folly, for the sub. Ooze is just really fucking good. It's graveyard hate in a format where there's a ton of graveyard effect. It's life gain. It's stall. Chat, I don't actually think the aggro decks are the king decks in this format either. It's the only green card in the pack is nice too. Punished, of course. All right, so what do we have? Red, 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 white, white, red. I like Champion here. This card is okay. This card is a bomb. We're not stuck in green. We're still really fucking figuring out what we're casting. This card is so good though. Like this card is by far the best card in this pack in my opinion by about a factor of 2. So. So the Discordance, the best card. Ox is in the Predator's colors, kind of. It's a red-black duel. It's a tap duel. It's a draw dude who's a good fodder for being eaten. We passed the red card to begin with. But there's nothing saying we have to play this. I don't like these green cards. I don't like this card. That card's pretty bad. This card doesn't do anything for me. I mean, the only cards in here are Legion Zealot, the duel, and the Ox. I don't hate Ox. It's a little slow, but it's okay. It doesn't really go in the same deck as Immersion Predator. Immerstorm Predator? I like it as Immersion Predator. That's like how I read that card. Who knows what exact colors we're playing right now. We don't have to play Ox. That's a really nice card in red-green. Red-green splashing black lets us play all of our cards. There's a Vraska there. This card can live in the same decks as those. I think it's maybe the best card in the pack too. I don't love Oracle. It's fine, but it's a little bit expensive. Mammoth is fine. Traxos is okay. Vraska's fine. I think I prefer Radha to Vraska, honestly. German for Always Storm. Okay. All right, so we're looking to get some black duels for the Predator. What does Shambler do? Battlefield +1 creature +1 kinetic target spell. Create a 1 green insect. Put a counter on him. Okay. Not very exciting. Deem Worthy is kind of like slow and value heavy. There's no black or green cards then. I guess I pick Fixing. So that's the only red card. This card is really good, but we're nowhere near it. And we're not actually open. We have a deck that all these cards can play in the same deck. I think it's better than Sword. Sword is really slow, and there's better equipment in this set. The other cards are not exciting, and I don't like this Swarm Shambler very much at all. Rex Sage goes in that deck. Magda goes in this deck. If we're currently red-green splashing black, that seems really nice. I don't think we get Mentor. Serpent's fine. Rest of these cards are kind of bad. Happy to see Magda. It's an excellent card. Just a fixer and accelerant. So good. A Braid here. Very nice too. Removal and color. Passing a Dread Wanderer for that. We're nowhere near white or blue. Snakeskin Veil is good too. I'm happy to play the red-green duel. I'm going to take a Braid here. It's just really solid. Tybalt, less exciting. Visionary is awesome. Dualcaster Mage, nowhere near this deck. This card is a card I'd play in this deck probably. If we're playing red-green with creatures. But I'd rather have the Mana Dork who draws me a card. This is pack 1. This deck is a lot less forgiving for Lightning Axe, I think. But these cards are both really bad. Is there ever a world in which I want that? I love how History wheeled. I felt like History was probably like the second best card in the pack. Knight works with Magda. Sure. He's a dwarf, you mean? I'm not probably playing either of these cards, but we'll take the Knight. It's fine. Weaponize the monsters. Egon with Throne of Death. Legions, Tajik, and a Blood for Bones. Blood for Bones is splashable here if we're playing big red-green creatures. It's fine. I don't want to play these cards. Red-white duel, a Traxos, and a Null Priest. 1, 2, 3. I don't think we play these. All right, I'm gonna take this out of my deck. Yeah, man, it's a little bit, it's a mixed bag, right? By like pack 3, I really like to have my deck trimmed to get some sense of what I'm doing as I'm drafting. But in pack 1, it's really helpful to see how open you are and what's going on with it. I don't think that card gets played. But maybe. I would like to see some of these. Like, anyways. When I head the Red Light play, well, there's a world in which I play Traxos. There's a world in which I play Blood for Bones. The only card I haven't picked, so I guess maybe there's a world in which the red-white land was better than the Rimrock. There's also a world in which I played that. It's just a sad, sad world that I don't really want to live in.
And water for the weary. Come and rest.
All right, pack 2. Lannery is also really good for what we're doing. There's a Sweeper and a Phoenix. I like the Phoenix. Mass Vandal is a little less good in this set than it was otherwise. Waking the Trolls is actually interesting too. We have mana accelerants off, or land accelerants off Radha. I think I take Lannery here for the token generation and hope to wheel Waking the Trolls. I'd also be okay wheeling Squee or Phoenix, but they're less good for me than this. We already have one Rebirth card. We're not super like aggro through the air necessary kind of stuff yet. I don't like this card. It's slow, but I do like land hating in this format. There's also an Evolving Wilds, but I like Lannery because he's the same thing as Magda, except he has haste, right? Or she, or whatever. I can never tell that gender. I think that's a woman. All right, white-green, red-black duel. Red-black duel is super valuable to us. There's a Sweeper. I don't like Plane-Wide Celebration. That's a red-black-white duel. I think that's worse than Blood Crypt that can come into play untapped. Discount on creatures. I don't love this troll. So I don't think this pack is super interesting for us. I think it's just Blood Crypt, be okay about it. Maybe we wheel the Triome. There's a Karn there. Karn's okay. It just doesn't seem like where we want to be with this deck. All right, what is this fucking card? It's a land that sometimes does something that I don't even know. Hydra for a fight effect. Shaman for a 2-drop. We're not very black right now. We're looking to splash it. And so it's red, green, green, green there. We have 2s already, and they're really good. We don't need this card. Although it does tutor for good cards. I think it will wheel too. I think I take Hydra here. Maybe there was some argument for Predator plus the guy who steals shit, but I think that will come back around. Good blue cards here. This is a green that will draw us cards for CMC. It's okay. Red-black duel. It's actually a pretty good red-black duel too. I'm not so excited on Karuga with a tricolor deck, not green-blue. I like the duel as well. I want to consistently cast my Immersion Predator and any black cards I'm splashing. It's a Lava Coil, which is pretty premium removal, Exiles. There's also Heart, which is splashing an accelerant. They're both good here. I'm actually really light on removal right now. I just have the Abrade. We might be able to splash black removal later. We might wheel the Heart. Sometimes it shows up again. It's not immensely exciting, the Heart, since it's not fixing. I mean, it is fixing, but it's only fixing in a single color. I think I want the Lava Coil, honestly. Coil is just so good. I don't play EDH. Not because I wouldn't, just I haven't. Fight with Fire seems like a good card for a deck like this. It's early removal or late game reach. There's also the Beetle. We don't have so many 4-power creatures yet, so Beetle's a little less valuable, although it can be good. I'm taking Fight with Fire. Mouth to Feed. Okay. White-green duel. Blossoming Defense seems nice. No tokens behind, but it's still a good one. It's also a Surveyor. I do have a need for bodies with the Predator, but it's a really slow play here, and we have good fixing so far. I'd probably play it over the Prism, but I kind of like the Blossoming Defense here. Is this card playable? 3 mana, 3/3, draws me cards. It's not bad, honestly. It's pretty high value. Oh, fuck. I actually wanted to change my pick there. I haven't played that card. All right. Mangara is still there. I think this is like the best white like card that I see. I don't know about best white, but it's up there for my favorite white cards in this stuff. We're nowhere near this. We're nowhere near this. This card's great, but we have to splash it with blue, which I don't think is really happening right now. Is this a proliferate land? Do we have counters? I'll take the higher upside. Maybe we end up with some duels there, but I doubt it. So Waking the Troll's Wheel, and this is actually a card I was interested in playing in this deck. We have acceleration, so this card gets better with mana dorks. It also gets better when we have more lands, and we have two cards, or one card that pulls lands out of our deck. Two if we grab the Scavenger as well, if that wheels. Kind of happy to have Waking the Trolls. I want to play this card and see if it's any good. It seems bad to me. So a dude is a land dork, white-green fixing that's always tapped. Some garbage that doesn't fucking do anything, and an old gross troll. I'm never playing this card. Every time I've looked at this, I've said that's worse than having a tap land. But I'm pretty sure I'm never playing triple green either. So I think that's just a wash. Do we want to play a 5-mana dude who tutors shit to my graveyard? No. I mean, blue's open. No one ever picks this octopus. He looks so good, man. Is he not amazing? Maybe there's just aren't enough cheap flyers for this octopus. I don't remember what this card does. We'll take it though. Okay. Not wheeling cards I want here, unfortunately. So that was all junk at the end there. All right, what's the next pack? Looking at Showdown if we could find white. We didn't take those earlier. The Caravan's decent as both accelerant and fixing and a body. Lavamancer's fine. Llanowar Elves are good. We have other things we want to do with our graveyard at the moment. We have 3 drops. That's hard, man. I really like Cultivator's Caravan. Green Seeker on 2, Torbran or Torolf. He's a dwarf. This shit is really too aggro for us. Triple red's up really high. This pack's pretty bad. I don't really think Green Seeker's where we want to be here, but maybe total land count matters when we're playing troll thing, and sometimes we just generate 45 fucking trolls and laugh until they sweeper us. So I'll take the Green Seeker. I think it's too slow for this format. Oh my god, Witch is there. Too bad we're not double black. This card is nuts. That card is decent, and this card is nuts. Which of these cards do we take first for nuts? Maybe we're not aggro enough to use the Berserker. We have no pump spells. There's an accelerant there too. I think this is the Thragtusk, because this card is just so good. It's anti-aggro. It's a second body. It's just really solid. We don't have a super high curve yet either. Kogla, I think, is the type of card we want to see in a deck like this. Although I feel like we're a very honest red-green beater deck, and I don't think very honest red-green beater decks are super good in this format, in my opinion. This is Beanstalk. We get more lands that way. I think it's better than Pout Collector. Yeah, but I don't like honest red-green beaters. I think we're like red-green duel with plenty of playables. I don't need a 1/3. It doesn't do anything. Don't really need a 1/1. It doesn't do anything either. Although this copies trolls. For each creature token you control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. You guys want to make trolls that make more trolls? You want to play this and splash it? I can't believe it's still here. I think I'd rather just play Stomping Ground. Okay. I don't know. It's kind of fun. It would kind of be funny. 6 mana, like Wake the Trolls, Troll the Trolls, Wake the Trolly Trolls. A reach creature here is fine. I don't think we're a frenzied deck. I keep reading Uprising. I've never had this played against me or seen it played. I think because it's so fucking weak. I don't think I want that. I think I'd take the Harvester. Harvester's a really good card. Black-green dual tap land. There's a Bone Splitter Axe here. Axe is kind of okay for our deck. Equipment with creatures. I think it's better than the tap one. Oh, Insult to Injury is interesting too. Oh, dude, I don't know. We want a lot of sources of damage or big sources of trampled damage. All right, so we wield Llanowar Elves, Royal Eruption, and Lavamancer. That's painful. Do we want Elves? Or do we want Lavamancer? I think Lavamancer's better. Elf over Lavamancer. That's interesting. I don't know. I feel like Lavamancer was better there, but I don't know the cards well enough. Like, it's hard to evaluate how good ramp is, right? We want to ramp in this deck for sure. But Lavamancer is like an okay early game draw and still an okay late game draw. We can play this. It's fine. Or we could play this thing. I feel like that card might not make our deck, but I don't know. Dude, Witch is passed. So no one is in black-white anything. Wow. Or life gain, rather. That's so nasty. There's no way I ever play this. I'm tempted to draft the Witch out of hate, but it's not a solid pick. Kiora Wheel. That's actually a good card for our deck. I think. I don't remember how many 4+ creatures we have. All right. Deck turned out medium. Okay. We're missing some of the synergies I like to see in the deck, and we're missing removal. We basically have Lava Coil, the Hydra, and a Fight with Fire, and then a Braid, and that's it, which is a bit scary. So those cards are obviously out. This is probably too much effort to splash the Predator. I think the card is nuts, but it would have been nice if it fit our deck a little bit better. We don't really want to eat our dorks, although we can. All right, so let's look at Kiora. So it's power 4+. We're not playing Garrick's Uprising because I'm not a scrub. So the Trolls are power 4 or greater. The Ape is. The Beanstalk Giant likely is. We're not playing Old Growth Troll here. Although we will sometimes have 3 mana. The Ox is. The Thrag Tusk is. This is an Accelerant too. Am I playing this creature when a creature or planeswalker opponent deals excess damage? Deals excess damage to a creature other than that permanent. Unattaches Hammer. This is so slow. Fuck that. Can we play Traxos? 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably not playing Throne of the God Pharaoh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're not playing Lithoform Engine. Copy target activated or triggered ability for 2. Activated or triggered ability. I don't know if casts like Beanstalk count for that. I don't think they do. So what is that? We're copying Treasure Creation, copying. All right, copy target instant or sorcery, copy target permanent. So for 4 mana, I can double my spells. That seems bad. All right. Anyways, I was trying to get my count and I've forgotten already. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, but we're not sure we're playing them. I mean, it fits the deck. Is a big bruiser here. We don't have any fight spells, which kind of sucks because the tapped Traxos is a pretty good target for fighting. What are we at? 4 cards we want removed. It synergizes with Kiora. Kiora can actually untap Traxos just alone. Might be okay. What else do we want to cut here? I'm really dubious about Rim Rock Knight. It is my only combat trick, but it's a 3/1 who kind of sucks. Yeah, I was happy to see Kiora Wheel. Are we playing our black cards? So we have 5 fixers, potentially. We got Beanstalk Giant, Caravan, 2 duels, and a Prophetic Prism if we want it. I don't think we need to play Prism, but I still think we have enough for playing the Immersion Predator and the Blood for Bones. Having Recursion, I mean, this card maybe is not super good for our deck, honestly. Having Recursion in a big creature deck can be good. Do we have humans we can bounce with the ape, by the way? Ox Beast, Dragon, Elf Warrior, Kiora, Elf Druid, Human Pirate. 1. Not super good here. Lannery and Magda do the same thing. They're fixing in acceleration. So I'm not cutting them. They help us get our Immersion Predator out earlier, get our Immersion Predator out at all. If we want to play Blood for Bones, it helps with that. I don't think we're cutting either of the token generators, the treasure generators rather. So like these are the cards that I would consider cutting from this deck, I think. Yeah, no, I understand that I can't always bounce, make Kogla indestructible. It's just we had some really nice, we had a green, blue, black deck that was super sweet where we could bounce that pirate who steals shit with Kogla. And we could bounce, there was someone else we were bouncing. We had 2 value bounces off humans. Hostage Taker, yeah. So we need 2 cards out. One last count for Kogla is 1, 2, Kogla for Traxos, I mean. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This card can cheat out Immersion Predator too. I think we play this card. I think it's actually good in this deck. Draw cards, cheat out cards. I kind of don't like Blood for Bones here. I know we have a black splash and this is a little bit of recursion. And we do have Mana Dorks. We can eat Green Seeker and Llanowar Elves with this, but it's pretty not exciting. Do we play Bone Splinter here? Is it just, I mean, we're not like a super aggro deck. I mean, we have a lot of bodies behind where Bone Splitter gets value. It's very cheap to move around. We need 1 card out. Is there a universe in which this deck is not a 17 land deck? I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the Caravan. 9 with the Giant. We have 9 cards in our deck that get us lands or otherwise accelerate our curve. Are we sure it's a 17 land deck? We need land for trolls. Okay, pretend this card's not in my deck and then answer the exact same question again. Is this a 17 land deck or a 16 land deck? I need to get to 3 lands ASAP. Where's that curve? Anyone have? It's a buried command somewhere in my channel. There's 2 curves that were drawn out. It was the percentage chance of drawing your 4th and 3rd land, and like all the way out to like 8 lands or something, based on the number of lands in your deck, and it was the percentage chance of hitting the colors based on distribution. There's quite a high chance of hitting land 3. I thought, if I remember correctly, the fall off on that graph was something like land 4. You started to see a difference. Like 3 was still pretty regular. Yeah, and then there's Shuffler, although God alone knows what Shuffler does for the impact. Okay, chat, let's look at it a different way. If we were playing 17 lands, what's the last card out? It feels like Bone Splitter Axe to me, or possibly Traxos. We have a fair number of ways to do things with Traxos. See, but Axe has a lot of value in this deck, right? It makes our dorks into beaters. And we have a lot of dorks. We got elves, Magdas. It's just a lot of things. It lets us get a lot more attacks with Lannery and Magda because now they're trading up, so people aren't super excited about blocking them, so they're generating more tokens for us. Or more treasures for us. Like, I think Axe is actually very good in this deck. More value than Blossoming. Yeah, although Blossoming is a really nice way at a 1 mana to avoid a huge blowout on one of our massive big dudes. I would say Hydra here normally, except I have so low removal. We have 3 removal cards, all of which are damage based, only one of which is an instant, and they cap out at 5. You'd rather have everything except Ox? Ox is a card advantage engine is what that is. It's not a curve topper, it's not a beater, not really. This is a way to make use of our graveyard and to make sure our hand is full. It feels like this is a good deck for it, although Predator and Ooze do eat creatures from our library, or from our graveyard rather. Ox doesn't use mana. Not really. I mean, I suppose it's a 5-drop, but it's a 4/2. 4/2 is not an exciting 5-drop. So we need 1 card out. And I don't have a clear cut here, honestly. I don't think we're playing Crawling Barrens, although we might. Hey, Legend. Long time no see, man. How's life? Yeah, 8 card escape is a lot, but it also triggers on casts, so you get it at least once. Can't complain. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Got a suggestion for a last cut, Legend? Put you on the spot. We're playing a very honest red-green beater deck in a super strong cube with a million full piles over here. How valuable is Visionary? Visionary would be cut. I would cut Traxos, Hydra, Expertise, Ox, all Beanstalk Giant, all before Visionary. Visionary is super good. It's one of the better green cards. It's a mana accelerant. It draws you a card and puts a 2/2 body on the board. It's just really solid. Is there an argument for cutting Llanowar Elves here, chat? Kiora is not cuttable here. Although I should count the number of activations. The problem is Kiora and Traxos are so good together. Although there's not a lot of hits. I mean, it's Giant, Traxos, maybe Hydra. I don't think Hydra triggers it. I guess I don't know how that works. Can I order it? Since those counters come on after the Hydra enters the battlefield, right? No, it enters with. 4? 5 with the Ox? Oh, Waking the Trolls and Kiora. Kiora is an accelerant, chat. So like, I don't want to cut Kiora. Kiora is not one of the cards that comes out of this deck for me. I feel like it might be our 17th land. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I know it seems weird, but we have 10 cards in this deck at 3 or less mana that provide more mana. 10. 1 in 4 cards. By turn 3, on average, we have 2 mana accelerants around. Like, is it greedy to run 16 lands here? I don't disagree. We like more land. Like, we got a number of things that take advantage of it. Let's take a look at how the deck looks with 16 lands. Well, we have to be careful, right? Because it's a very lazy excuse to be like, oh yeah, who cares about our curve? The deck will fix it. The shuffler will fix it for us, and we don't have to worry about the hard last cut. We'll just run 16 lands. All right, what's our mana sources like? Okay, so we're running 1, 2, 3 black mana sources, 6, 7 green, and 5, 6, 7 red. This mana is not good. This is not a Crawling Barrens deck, just so we know. We need more green sources and more red sources. So what is this? 1, 2, 7, 8. The problem is a lot of our mana generators come online at 3, and a lot of them are colored sources. We need red for the 2-drop, red for this 2-drop. I mean, maybe Green Seeker is a cut, by the way, chat. That might be our last cut. It's very slow and dirtily. Do we cut a Green Seeker just for a land? It's card advantage, though. Isn't this exactly a crawling? I don't know. The problem with this is, so all right, so what do you pay? When we play Crawling Barrens, we give up mana efficient. We give up mana consistency, right? And we give it up to have a land that can become a beater. And it's a mana sink, right? But I have plenty of mana sinks. I think Ox, Hydra, Fight with Fire, Radha's ability, Ooze, moving stuff around. Maybe we don't have plenty of mana sinks. I don't know. Seeker needs to hit 2 lands before it hits a card. It's a 1/3 blocker too. I hate colorless sources too. It's so frustrating. Like, because we have green drops on 1 that we care about, and we have red drops on 2 we care about. So it's really, really frustrating to like be like, oh, we'll just play a colorless little source. Colorless sources are a bit scammy. So we go up to, I don't think I can play less than 8 green sources playing Llanowar Elves, right? Like I would prefer to be 10 green sources, quite honestly. And we have 8 green sources only. This is 8 green, 8 red, 3 black right now. And yeah, we get a million more when we start counting up here. So maybe we don't have to play a swamp, but the thing is, Beanstalker Giant searches for swamps. I don't want to cut Predator. We paid, we have 2. Predator, the only, Predator is a 1 swamp consistency, right? So I'd rather play Predator than play Crawling Barrens. And if my option is literally I have to cut red-black duels or play, both of which don't come into play tapped, or play, so it's either Swamp or Crawling Barrens and I cut Predator, I think I'd just rather keep Predator. Predator's reach. I would buy any and all iterations of this, chat. This is close. Swamp is colorless, sure, but Swamp and Crawling Barrens is now 2 colorless sources, and we're never not playing the Swamp here, right? Beanstalk Giant does not search for non-basics. That's why we have the Swamp. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to grab water chat because I'm going hoarse talking about this. This is probably our last deck of the day unless we go stupendously bad, like 0-3. Hey, Legend, thanks for the sub, man.
Back.
Let me know what you guys think.
Let's go.
Can we get 5 with this? We'll see. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to grab water. See you guys shortly.
You have returned.
All right, chat. All right. Oh, Riser size subbed as well. Thanks, buddy. Welcome back. Let's see where we get with this deck. I do enjoy the drafting a lot. The playing is somewhat less fun, I gotta say. So many of our games are not playing. Going first in my draft? This can't be right. It's going to be black mana, remove this guy. I mean, we have lands.